Welcome to The Democratic Voice, your community action program dedicated to bringing you the issues that impact America and concern Colorado. Brought to you every week at this time by the El Paso County Democratic Party, your voice in the future of Colorado Springs.
Question before us is the adoption of the report of the Committee on Credentials. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Credentials Committee report is adopted. Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to wait upon Chief Justice Mary J. Malarkey and to request her to administer the oath of offices to the representatives-elect.
Seeing no objection, Representatives Heffley, Chairman, Fairbank, and Butcher are appointed to wait upon the Chief Clerk. The House will be at ease.
Will all those persons certified for membership in the House of Representatives please stand, raise your right hands, and repeat after me. I, and please state your name, do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of my office to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Justice Malarkey. The House will be in recess. We have the committee return. Here they come. The House will be in recess while the committee escorts the Chief Justice from the chamber.
At this time, I would like to recognize Representative Vega for the purpose of addressing the issues.
Speakers Bradley, House colleagues, and special guests, I am honored and humbled to stand before you today. Over the past 12 months, I have traveled from Montrose to Basalt, meeting Coloradans, both young and old. On several occasions, I was honored to hear their stories. Even during this time of great economic uncertainty and fear about our nation's security, I was pleased to hear that they were still optimistic. They are hopeful. They are proud to be Coloradans, and they are certain that they will get through this difficult time and become stronger and more prosperous. Those same Coloradans are looking to us as leaders to navigate them through these difficult times. As we begin the 64th General Assembly, let's draw upon their hope and optimism to confront our challenges. As a veteran of this chamber, I know that each of us enters this great hall on the first day of session committed to transcending partisan politics. But all too often, politics holds good public policy hostage. I challenge each of us, just as I challenge myself, to try to hold on to the hope and optimism that we each feel today. Let's commit today, on this first day of session, not to demonize our political opponents. Let's commit today to collaboration. Let's commit today to celebrate the independent spirit of Coloradans by governing with a renewed sense of independence. Independence from special interests and independence from the political stereotypes we too often apply to our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Let's commit today to look at each piece of legislation which comes before us with an independent, open mind. Now, don't get me wrong. We should, in fact we must, expect passionate, spirited discourse in this chamber. The serious issues facing our state require nothing less. That is what our great democracy is all about. And we, as the House Democrats, the loyal opposition, have a crucial role in the debate over the direction of our state. We cannot and will not be a rubber stamp. We owe it to our constituents, our state, and our own moral compass to make sure that the decisions we make as a legislative body are fully examined. We should expect that this deliberative process will produce better policy. Our pluralistic society is a beacon of hope for the entire world, especially at a time when some want to hear only one voice, one viewpoint to dominate. At this moment in our history, we must protect and even celebrate our democracy, where both majority and minority voices are respected and heard. We all know that the budget realities are very serious. I, like you, do not look forward to the difficult choices we are about to make. To choose between maintaining the integrity of our education fund or purchasing new textbooks will not be easy. Choosing between funding juvenile diversion programs or funding care programs like aid to the needy disabled will likewise be difficult. But as Abraham Lincoln once said, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Let's never forget that we are elected to make difficult choices. In doing so, we cannot be short-sighted. We must consider far-off consequences even as we search for immediate solutions. We agree with the governor that we must take a hard look and make deep cuts to this budget. But we believe that priorities must be set. We don't agree that we should simply use a calculator and cut things equally across the board. We were elected to provide leadership in making difficult budget decisions and to fund programs that reflect our values. Just like any family facing a budget crunch, we must prioritize our decision based on budget realities. A family facing a financial crisis cannot make across-the-board cuts to their household budget. They cannot pay just 90% of their mortgage or heating bills. They have to sit down and weigh priorities and decide on what they absolutely need now for their family, what they can delay, and what they can do without. We must use this same common sense approach in addressing our state's budget. We must protect the most vulnerable in our society, children, the disabled, the poor and elderly, from bearing the brunt of the budget cuts. At the same time, we should foster long-term economic growth by empowering our state's businesses and families to become healthier, stronger, and more prosperous. We must delay good ideas that we simply cannot afford, and we must eliminate waste and extravagance. We need to show leadership in cutting back if we are going to ask the citizens of our state to do the same. There are three core values that our caucus is committed to making a priority this session: providing quality health care for our families, creating strong educational opportunities, and rebuilding our economy. These three core values are ones that we believe will put our state back on track. They will strengthen our families, create new opportunities, and jumpstart our economy. These are the values for which the people of Colorado sent us here to work. We all know that the quality and availability of health care in our state is sorely inadequate. Thousands of Colorados have only partial or no health care coverage. We've all heard stories about people going without essential medications because they cannot afford them. Let me briefly tell you about a story about my mom in California. Her experience is similar to that of many Coloradans. I called her the other day and she told me she had just returned from Mexico. I said, I didn't know you were going on vacation. And she explained to me that she and my stepfather go to Mexico every 3 months so they can buy prescription drug medication. She told me that the pills she needs cost $2.49 in the United States and less than 50 cents in Mexico. My mom is lucky because she has an affordable option to obtain the medicine she needs. Many here in Colorado are not so lucky. We will be introducing measures that address ways to expand health coverage to our citizens that also help create and stimulate our economy. For example, Representative Palmer has a proposal to establish a preferred prescription drug list for Medicaid. I was encouraged recently when I read that Michigan saves $850,000 per week in their Medicaid budget under a similar proposal. We will also propose incentives for small business owners to offer health care insurance and propose buying pools for small businesses to decrease premiums. Our Democratic proposals will seek to answer the fundamental question: how do we simultaneously improve health care for Colorado's families and create economic opportunity? We will also make educating our children a major priority this session by offering fresh, innovative ways to address the crucial issues facing our schools. Parents must have confidence that their kids are getting a safe and world-class education. I was encouraged by the recent CSAP report that showed that over 70% of Colorado's schools improved over last year. But we still have a long way to go to make Colorado schools the best they can be. We are looking at proposals that increase parental involvement and choices about the kind of education they can provide for their kids. One way we will do this is to give children who attend failing schools top priority in the open enrollment process. This is a way to give parents a real choice in improving the quality of their kids' education. We must also seek to capitalize on what works, such as using additional private and public dollars to expand innovative programs like the Small Schools Initiative, currently funded by the Bill Gates Foundation. The program gives money to traditionally large, underperforming schools to help them break into smaller, more specialized institutions within the same facility. This formula has worked well for Pueblo's District 60 and Denver's West and Manual Highs. These innovative approaches should serve as models for others around the state. We must commit to teach students that success is defined by being an active member of their community, which is why Representative Groff and Senator Anders have joined together to offer a proposal making civics courses mandatory. This will prepare students to enter the world and inspire them to be civic-minded and well-rounded citizens. We want to tackle the difficult issue of motivating more young people to earn a higher education. Colorado ranks in the bottom 10% for sending high school graduates to college. African American and Latino high school students in particular are falling further behind. In order to have a world-class economy, we must have an educated workforce to attract companies to our state. Every education study has clearly shown the connection between earning a college degree with earning a higher income, receiving better health care, and building stronger communities. We must adequately equip our high school seniors to be prepared for the next opportunity. 25 years ago, earning a high school diploma was enough to earn and keep a decent job with benefits. Those days are long gone. We must prepare students to adapt to the ever-changing and increasingly globalized economy. Our caucus will support legislation that provide incentives for more Coloradans to take advantage of the excellent higher education system in our state. Too many high school students are denied the opportunity to earn a college degree, not because of poor GPAs or test scores, but because of economic barriers. We are looking forward to working with our colleagues across the aisle and leaders of our higher education institutions to encourage more students to seek a higher education and to provide them adequate funds to do so. Finally, we will seek to revitalize rural Colorado. As an urban legislator, my travels around the state this summer opened my eyes to the travails of rural Coloradans. I had read stark statistics about the growing delta between rural and urban communities, but I had not fully understood that divide until I visited these areas. The economic hardships are certainly taking a toll on Colorado's rural communities. It became apparent to me that in order for the state to pull through this economic crisis, we need to bridge the gap between rural and urban communities. Restoring economic health to rural Colorado is critical to the economic recovery of the entire state. Our plans are designed to stimulate the economy while preserving the integrity of Colorado's natural resources. I drew perspective and hope from these rural communities. While the circumstances are serious, rural Coloradans inspire me with a sense of confidence and optimism that derives from generations of families, business owners, and agriculturalists who have survived difficult situations many times before. Whether it be in the areas of education, health, rural development, or regaining our financial footing, Democrats will continue to passionately support ideas that expand opportunity for all Colorado families. We are confident that in this way we will recapture the American dream and all Coloradans will benefit. Regardless of political affiliation, all of us are going to have to take a hard look at the decisions we have made and the choices we are about to make. We must ask ourselves, are we improving the lives of all Coloradans with policies that generate real results? Are we maximizing every dollar spent? At the end of the legislative session, will Coloradans continue to feel justified in their faith that our state can endure any challenge that comes before us? Our caucus intends to answer these questions with an emphatic yes. Speaker Spradley, I look forward to working with you this session and producing results that we can be proud to take back to our constituents. Indeed, my entire caucus looks forward to working with our colleagues across the aisle, creating opportunity from adversity and addressing today's challenges with commitment, perspective, and innovation. Our fellow Coloradans deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Nominations are now open for Speaker of the House, Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As we begin the 64th General Assembly of the state of Colorado, all of us who are being elected, and those of you who are here to celebrate with us today, realize that this is a special moment in the history of the state of Colorado. I believe a short history lesson is appropriate. The current boundaries of the state of Colorado were created in 1850, and the federal government purchased Texas claim when the federal government purchased Texas claim to this land. In 1859, a provisional territorial government was formed called the Territory of Jefferson. In 1861, Congress created the Territory of Colorado. On August 1st, 1876, President Ulysses S. Grant issued a proclamation of statehood, and Colorado became the 38th state to join the Union. John Rout was elected Colorado's first governor in 1876. The first Speaker of the House was Webster Anthony from Arapahoe County. 18 years later, in 1894, Colorado became the second state in the nation to grant suffrage to women. During that same year, on November 6th, the first three women ever to be elected to a state legislature in the United States were elected to the Colorado General Assembly. Clara Cressingham, a Republican from Arapahoe County; Clara Hart, a Republican from Pueblo County; Frances Clark, a Republican also from Arapahoe County. The process of governing the state was obviously supported by the voters, and they continued that trend to elect women to the legislature. In 1913, the first woman to be elected to serve in the state Senate was sworn into office. Her name was Helen Robinson, a Republican from Arapahoe County. Since that first session in 1876, 201 women have been elected to the legislature. During this current session, there will be 34 women serving in the House and in the Senate. Today, January 8, 2003, another historic step is being taken by this body. The election of the first woman Speaker of the House, Representative Lola Spradley, representative from House District 60. I believe it is appropriate just to spend a few moments and share a little of her history. Representative Spradley is a Colorado native, born in the town of New Rama, which I'd never heard of before, halfway between Sterling and Greeley. She was the oldest of 7 children who grew up on a wheat farm and had many varied responsibilities, from driving a tractor to feeding the cows and the chickens. She went to a small school where she still remembers the names of the students who were in her class. She remembers her mother telling her that she liked to argue and debate. We all know that. And was thrilled to see that she finally got into speech class where she could do those types of things. Her mother taught her that whatever she took on, do it 100%. See, she said, if you're going to do it right. It doesn't take any more time to do it right than to do it over. Representative Spradley started as a telephone operator for Mount Dell Telephone Company and worked her way up to Vice President of Government Relations with AT&T, where she lobbied the legislature for telecommunication interests. She became involved in politics to be a positive force for the people of this state. She and her husband, Dell Spradley, who is here today, live on a ranch in Beulah. They have a combined family of 4 children, daughters Terry and Lynn, sons Larry, who is married to Carol, Chris, who is married to Jackie, and 7 grandchildren, Sarah, Tara, Chris, Kayla, Brent, Mark and Samantha, and I know that she has some siblings with her today, and we would be honored if all of you who are related to Lola, if you would please stand so we could acknowledge you this morning. Governor Owen said the number of important roles that women are playing in our state government is truly significant. When you look at the fact that we will have women serving as Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, Majority Leader of the Senate, Minority Leader of the Senate, House Minority Leader, and of course, our own Speaker of the House, it speaks extremely well for the women of the state. This is truly a defining moment of history for this state and one we will always remember. And now, at the start of this, the 64th General Assembly, it is my honor to place a nomination for Speaker of the House, Representative Lola Spradley, to become the first woman Speaker of the House for the state of Colorado and the 53rd Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Representative Vega.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since I can't really top that whole nominating, I would just like to second the nomination of Representative Spradley for Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives.
Are there any further nominations? Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the nominations be closed.
Is there objection? Without objection, the nominations are now closed. And the question now before the House is the adoption of the motion.
Mr. Majority Leader, Madam Minority Leader, fellow representatives, staff, family, and all the many honored guests. Today we begin the 64th General Assembly. This is both a joyous and somber occasion. Joyous because it is a reaffirmation of the freedom and democracy we enjoy in this great nation. Our forefathers had the wisdom to create a unique form of government that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. Today we remain strong. Our spirit is undaunted. Despite the terrorist attack 16 months ago and the problems we've endured since 9/11, our heritage and way of life remain intact. Growing up on a wheat farm in northeast Colorado, I never envisioned that I would be involved in politics, let alone hold the position that you have bestowed upon me today. I know my mother, God rest her soul, would probably be a little shocked, but incredibly proud today. I am humbled by this honor, and I will do my very best to earn your continued respect and support. And speaking of support, I must take this opportunity to express my gratitude for the support I have received from my husband, Dale. And I also want to thank in advance every family member of every representative in this room for the support and understanding that you will be giving for the next 120 days. Look at them, you probably won't see them again for a while. But we will need your listening ear and your strong shoulder in order to do our best. This body is known as the House of the People. That's because all members of the House are elected every 2 years. Under our system of checks and balances, we are meant to be the barometer of public opinion.